As a parent, we learn to overcome our obstacles because anytime our children ask us to do anything, whether we're fearful of that or not, we take it on. So I'm going to share with you a time when I went with my kids to Elange Gardens in Denver, Colorado, and learned how to overcome a fear, because once a child asks you to do something, you do it regardless. Having grown up in Colorado, I spent many summers at Elange Gardens riding every ride. The bigger, the faster, the better in my mind. So once I became a parent and had children of my own, even though I lived in Nebraska, I knew that for summer vacations, Colorado was where I was going to go. Loaded the kids up in the van, headed to go see Grandma and Grandpa, and when we arrived, Elange Gardens was the first place we were going to go as a family. So every time we went to Elange Gardens, I always wanted to be first in line so I could run to the ride I wanted to ride first, which was called the Detonator. Once I had ridden that ride many times in a row, I would look at the kids and say, okay, it's your turn, where do you want to go? Well, every time we walked into that park, my son Alex, who was my oldest, who would be 6 at the time, then I had Hillary, who was 3, and then Zach, who was a baby, he was 1. But Alex would look at that ride that was called a zip cord. And you know, when you walk in the park, you see that ride that pulls people up, 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 high, 3, 2, 1, whoosh, and away they go, swinging across the park. My son would look at that, and he would look at me and say, Mom, I want to go on that ride. And I'd say, sure, Alex, let's go take a look. Now, I knew 2 things. I didn't want to go on that ride, and I also knew that there was a height factor involved, and I knew Alex would be too short. So as a parent, I would say, sure, let's go take a look. And every time we'd walk over, he'd measure up to that height, and I would look and say, oh, shoot, Alex, you're just not tall enough. Whew, save the day. Year after year, we would do this, year after year. Mom, I want to go. Shoot, Alex, you're just not tall enough. Well, guess what? The time came to where we got there, ran over, shoot, Alex, you're tall enough. Oh, son of a gun. And because we were there so early, we were the second in line to go on this silly ride. So, my fears, I knew I had to overcome rather quickly to get through this ride. So as we stood there in line, I did this positive self-talk, sized up the people in front of me for some reason, and thought, well, if this gal can do it, I can do it. Regardless of what I thought, it was our turn to go. So the first thing they do is they have you sign a waiver before you go on this ride. And to me, that's the worst thing you could ever do, because you're releasing the park of any and all responsibility in case something happens. Next, it was time to put on this crazy contraption of a suit harness that made it safe for us. So after we put these things on like this, and I had this bar dangling down here between my legs, my son and I are supposed to walk up onto this platform, connect arms, and these people who work there tell us the floor's gonna give way and you're going to be floating. And suddenly that floor did give way, and we went from upright to suspended in air. And I realized that this was not a good thing for an aggressive person like me to be encountering right now. When I'm not in control, life's not good. Before I knew it, they were pulling us up, 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 up high into the sky, and Elange Gardens, which has now become a Six Flags, is located right off of the interstate, and I saw that I could see the Denver Broncos Stadium, and I realized, oh my gosh, we are really high. Suddenly this voice comes over and says, 3, 2, 1, pull. My son pulls the cord, and we go, woo, woo. And typically I am in complete control of my emotions, but this time, all you could hear me was screaming, and the closer I got to the video, the louder it got, so I sounded like this, and all you could hear poor Alex doing was saying, Mom, let go of my arm! Mom, let go of my arm! No! Whoa! So anyway, it was an amazing ride. They finally put the hook out, we got to pull it, stop, we were on our feet, standing up again, and I realized, you know what? That wasn't so bad. I could overcome that fear. In fact, we had so much fun that day on that ride that it has become a family tradition. Anytime we go to any amusement park or any location that's got that ride that takes you way up, 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 we go on it together every time. The end. Thank you.